Good morning, people. Um, I just did another one of those experimental videos over on Facebook. You only get a short period of time. I don't even know how long it is. Not very long. Anyway, I've been trying to invite people over to my channel. Not that it's super califragilistic. However, the beginnings of my channel were. And even now, they probably still are of worth to somebody. My subscribers has gone up and down, so I probably have offended some people. Or maybe they're just tired of getting notifications because I put out some videos. But probably my videos really aren't all that special, but they will be to somebody, okay? I'm fixing to go for a walk here in a minute or two. I've been trying to charge up my phone because I do my videos on my phone, and I tend to run out of juice because I watch videos. I do a video, and then I put it on here, and then I go watch it, and then I go, oh! So there was one yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Anyway, there was one I posted yesterday that I deleted. But what I did was I deleted it. I hated to do that. And then I went and took the end off, okay? So some of you people got to see it. I know I had 4 views already before I did that. And I'm going, oh, I hate to lose any of my views too, even though it's just 1 or 2. It was 4 that I had seen. But anyway, I'm doing this. I'm flying by the seat of my pants, even though I've been doing videos for a year now. July 16th was my first experimental video, and that was in 23, okay, last year. It's amazing it's already been a year. And I believe I have 670 plus videos on here now. I'm a little bit crazy, I think. Nevertheless, I just want to say, hey, and I'm going to take you for a walk. It's cloudy out there today, and it's probably chilly. That's why I got my sweater on. Usually I'm sweating to death, but first thing in the morning, it's still chilly. And I know that wasn't a good thing to say, sweat. but women of a certain age, I think starting a lot younger than me, start having hot flashes. You'd be sitting there and you'd be doing fine, and all of a sudden you've got water pouring out, every pore pouring out, okay? Your pores are pouring out. Yeah, isn't it amazing how words are? Because really, when you stop and think about it, if you tear words apart, just like that, I said, we have pores, okay? The skin has pores. And I said the sweat was pouring out, but I was talking about flowing. You can look down at your hand and it's all wet. It's shimmering, okay? But it's not a good feeling that causes that. I'm just being silly. I just realized, and I was figuring out what the date is, which I haven't told you guys. It's Friday the 13th. It's the 13th of September. But I was doing that little video, and I was figuring out, okay, what day is it? And it is. It's Friday the 13th. So what does that mean? I think it means it's an unlucky day. I don't know. Have to look it up, huh? And I know, I'm messing with my eyeballs, but I feel like I got something in there. And yes, it's my finger. I choose to be happy. Now, that's quite the statement, because you can't always do that, but you could try. Depends on what's going on in your life. I probably do spend an awful lot of time on this, my channel. Because I feel like I got, it's an outlet. Even though I don't really know what I'm going to say. It's kind of like sitting down to write in a journal. You ever done that? I don't want to get your hopes up. But have you ever heard of spiritual writing? I'm not sure if that's exactly what they call it. But sometimes you can sit down to write, and the next thing you know, your hand is just flying across the page, trying to keep up with your thoughts. Okay? But it's coming from your brain. So I don't know if that's actually spiritual writing. Okay? Mine is spiritual, and it comes from my heart and my brain. Sometimes I just really don't have a lot to say, so for that life can be beautiful, and we need to make it beautiful. No matter what our situation is, we need to find something good. Cling to the light. Let your light so shine that you help other people. It draws them in. That's one of those, I don't know if it's a song, but I imagine it's in a song, but it's in our teachings. And it's in the Bible, just like the burning bush itself, where I'm just correlating, okay? So, the burning bush was God talking to Moses, and maybe a few other people, but that's the one I remember. But we are told in our church that we should let our light so shine and be peculiar, meaning don't go with the flow just because the flow is going that way. You need to cling to the light and be, like a friend of mine said in one of his papers, a beacon. Be a beacon to draw people in, and maybe you can help them. And you do get great joy from helping other people. Okay, now I'm talking spiritually, okay, because I don't have any money. That's not an option. I need to find some, though. Anyway, a long time ago, I'd be looking out into the distance. I'd be on my property, okay? I'm in my driveway on my property. My driveway is not a quarter mile, about an eighth of a mile, maybe. Maybe not even quite, because it's not quite halfway through the property. I have 70 acres in Colorado. I mean, what a wonderful place to be as far as marijuana laws go, and growing and licensing. I mean, they want to charge you a bloody fortune. I wish they'd get over it. Nothing like, I don't want to use that word. Not a good word. Nothing like taking from the people when you're so bloody well rich already. Just because we want to smoke a little pot, you're going to charge a fortune, and then you're going to charge 25% sales tax. I think that is wrong. It's totally freaking wrong. You guys need to even get rid of it, because it is medicine. And medicine shouldn't even be taxed. And a lot of things shouldn't be taxed, like anything. I mean, I know you got to have your money to make things work, but I think there's a lot of waste going on and money being put in the wrong place. All of us, especially those working for the government, should not sit around and be lazy when you got a job to do. I know, you got to wait for those other guys to do their job. You got to wait for those other guys to do their job before you can do your job. So, hey, you're getting paid. You got to be doing something. I know that doesn't sound very good, right? But, there's been many times in the past when I did live around people and was in the traffic and stuff, you'd see them working on the road. Half of them waiting, sitting around waiting. Waiting and waiting. When they're doing asphalt or doing whatever kind of job, and then that there's some just sitting in their damn truck, just twiddling their thumbs when they really could be doing something. We're there when they need us, okay? And in the meantime, we just waiting around. All right, I'm getting off that subject. I'm just trying to say that all of us, especially any of us working for someone else and getting paid, should try to do a good job and not just sit on your laurels, as they say. I don't know what a laurel is, but you know what I meant, right? I have to try to learn how to use different words than the norm, because the norm is to say words that are listed as bad words, or I don't know where they're listed, but you know what I mean. Oh, that's a bad word. To me, a bad word is one that paints a bad story in my head. You know, you can say all kinds of words that are acceptable and paint a picture in my brain that's not pretty, and it'll be there. And I'm serious, you know, people need to be careful what they be saying. So I'm trying, okay? But I know a bunch of you out there, I mean, we're all susceptible to it. It's on the TV, so I don't know why I really need to worry, except for I have a lot, no I don't, I have a few members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, okay, that are subscribers. Maybe they're the ones who left, because they come and then they go, Houdini. And then they come back sometimes, you know, and sometimes I think it is just a matter of getting all the dadgum notifications. You don't want to know about it. You just get on my channel when you're ready, and then you'll have 50 million to watch. If you ever get bored of TV, just put me in your ear if you don't want to see me, because there are those who are offended by the fact that I don't have teeth in my mouth. Okay, I'm very used to my face without the teeth, except for my lip is doing weird stuff. I don't like that. I've gotten comfortable. I mean, it's been over 10 years since I had teeth, okay? And then you go and you get these teeth thinking you're going to just put them in your mouth and everything's going to be hunky-dory. Well, no. I think they didn't do them right, and trying to get the bottom to fit right and not hurt like hell. I'm sorry, there's one of them bad words, but it is a bad place, okay? But it's not really a bad word. But to my mom and dad, it is. I mean, that's how far they carry it, you know? It's one thing to be saying all these other words, you know, the F word and the this word and the that word, and there you got your Grandma Riggs in the house, okay? This is back when I was in the 8th grade. My mother's mother was living with us. Well, she's not a Mormon. And she's got her personality going on. She's a woman of God, though. She believed in the good book, okay? And she said her prayers, and they were long. She said them out loud, and they were long. She'd be laying in her bed praying. I don't know if she was laying in the bed, but I don't remember seeing her get on her knees. But I do remember her praying a lot. She was just a funny character. But I mean, different words would come out of her mouth that is not what we have accepted. Or not acceptable, whatever. So nevertheless, I do endeavor to not say swear words, but sometimes they're just appropriate. Sometimes they just fly out of my mouth because they're there. You know, I can remember something was said, I think it was probably Grandma or Roger, and then one of us kids repeated it at the table. We got in trouble. Anyway, what does that mean, got into trouble? They were just, you know, I think it was kind of, they understood that you weren't supposed to do that, you know. Anyway, there's words that I don't like, and they're not on that list of bad words. One being fart. I do not like that word. Lord have mercy. Now, see, my grandma, she would use that expression a lot too, Grandma Riggs. Lord have mercy. And I forget what I was going to say. Oh, instead of fart, she said poot. So I like poot. So I must have liked my grandma, my Grandma Riggs. We spent time together. You know, I spent a little time with Grandma Smith when I was young, but not a lot. And of that time that I spent, I didn't have pleasant memories. You know, not cuddling and sweetness and all that stuff. No. We got in trouble. We had to go out and get a switch. We got sent to the garden to pull weeds that We didn't have gloves on, and those weeds had briars. Tell me that's nice. No, I mean, that was just a couple weeks. We went to grandma's and stayed while mom and dad went on vacation. I remember. I remember a few things. I remember being under the table, so I was way young. This was before I was 5 years old. I remember being under the table when they were playing cards. But it is true. Children were to be seen and not heard, and you better listen and do what you're told, and all that kind of stuff, you know. But we did get to go play in the woods. I love that, because we lived on the end. It was a dirt road to begin with, and then on the very end is where we lived, and then the rest was woods. And there was a big, huge construction type road going on just a little further away, but it was all dirt. I think they were just fixing it because I saw heavy equipment. That reminds me of a story. When I was probably 4. I mean, I wasn't old enough to go to school when we lived there. And they didn't have kindergarten. And we moved away from there before I hit first grade. And I think first grade is 6 years old, okay? But we had a lot of adventures down there. And we were surrounded by the woods. And our trees had long pine needles. So there was a lot of dead pine needles over the path where the animals walked. But it was still a wide path. It was like 2 feet wide. Anyway, it would just slope down and slope back up and covered with those pine needles. But we must have had our way that we went, trails that we went down, kids. And we stumbled across I know I didn't tell you the story. We stumbled across a dump where some people had dumped stuff, okay? So then we're going through it. And I remember playing, like I drew a house. I was always into houses, okay? So I made a house, but basically it was just a drawing of the perimeter, and then I made rooms inside of it. And I don't know what the heck I was doing. I was just playing. You know, kids do what they see. So, I don't know, I've just always been into houses. I can remember being in the 3rd grade and drawing what a house would look like on the inside. The rooms, the layout, all that stuff. And I must have done something about the outside, because I've always been into houses that have shape. You know, not a just rectangle. I wanted shape, you know, like those bay windows are. And they used to have houses like that. And it's really, when you go to decorate it, it might not be that it's the best thing, you know, finding space for everything. But I can remember the wall would go out, not just the windows, okay? The wall would go out in that particular configuration. You know, it's kind of like a house that has a tower, and then they also got the bay window type of deal. But it's just, and there's also windows you can get now to set in your window that has that, where it goes out and comes back in. So I'd have to draw pictures. I'm trying to draw pictures with my words. But 3rd grade, how old are you? I think you're 8, 6, 7, 8. Yes, 8 years old. So that story. I hope it doesn't rain. I thought I heard raindrops. Picture yourself, okay? I'm going to tell it. It's a little story, and we're all little kids, okay? I mean, I might be 5, okay? 4 or 5, I don't know. And I had a big decision to make. A big decision to make. See, me and my brother, he's a year and a month younger than me, and then David is 3 months younger than me, and Dale is 3 years younger than me, and Kathy is a year and a half older than me. Okay, so you can see we're all really little. And I don't know how they did it. I don't know what they did. But across the street, and I'm talking that dirt road, okay? Because we lived down at the end of a dirt road. And it was really neat dirt. I loved it. Because we could play in it and we could pack it down and pull our foot out. Pack it on your foot, pull your foot out, and then it stayed there so you had a building. It was cool. Anyway, across the street, in the woods. I don't know who started it. But all I remember is just us little kids, okay? And David, I'm pretty sure it was David, my Uncle David, that's 3 months younger than me, okay? So we're like 4. And then my brother, so maybe I must have been 5, because then they would have been 4. Or David could have been right on my tail, but Nathan would be a whole year younger. They started a fire. They frickin' started a fire in a place where there's dead pine needles and there's lots of woods and it was spreading. And that, what do? I went and fucking told, excuse my mouth. I went and told the woods is going to catch on fire and our houses are going to burn and all that stuff, But all these 2 boys can think of is how rude. I told on them. I wonder how they feel now as adults. And we're past adults because, I'm 70. I was at the doctor's office on Wednesday. My new doctor's talking to me and everything, and she's reading over the chart stuff, and she says, "You're 70? You don't look 70. That was so nice. I mean, really, that is nice. I don't feel like I look 70 either. However, I could look a lot better. I want to reverse my age, but I'm happy. I'm happy with what I have. I'm not happy about the cancer. We got to get rid of it. And she made statements I didn't like. Okay, it's not that you can't be told just what you like. Okay, here's the deal. I heard her say you had tumors all over. Well, I hadn't heard that. I mean, I did hear cancer was everywhere, but they didn't say tumors, okay? And some lymph nodes. So anyway, tumors all over. And then what does she say? That I have fractures in my back. I told her, I says, all I know is that one of my vertebrae was covered with cancer, and the rest were not. I mean, they had a little bit, but not like this one vertebrae, which is right above my waist. And see, I'd be walking. I do a lot of walking, but it's not just when I'm walking. I mean, it is, but not when I'm walking outside, okay? My bones are popping, and so I'm getting nervous about that. It's not just my bones in my back, it's in my neck, it's, my skull isn't, but I've been told I've got cancer on my skull too. Just can't see it. And I'm not feeling it, and I don't want to succumb. In other words, I told these people, I am not going to die, you people. But maybe I'm just in denial. All I know is I don't want to die miserable. I don't want to be miserable the last years of my life. I want to feel good. I want to feel as good as I can. And these medicines can make you feel horrible. And sometimes I think the medicine is what's killing people. You take a frail individual who's invaded with cancer, and then let's kill them. Because what they're doing is trying to kill the cancer, but they're killing you too. Okay, people? big decisions to be made all the time, and some of us make wrong decisions. I do think my decisions were correct. However, I should have been more diligent. Is that the word? Diligent and vigilant. I'll have to look the meaning of that up. Sometimes I make up words. Anyway, and even now I need to be more vigilant is the word, I'm sure. Vigilante, vigilant, they're part of the same word. When you study vocabulary and spelling, see, when you're doing vocabulary, you're learning the meaning of words, and you're also learning how they're put together. Okay, so you have a root word, and then you have prefixes and suffixes that you add, which changes the meaning to the word, to make it say what you want it to. So, vigilant, strange word, but I bet it's correct. A vigilante. You're after it, man, okay? You're fighting a war. Don't just give up, you people. And I need to do better. There is all kinds of stuff online, about different foods that you should be using that fight cancer, that kill cancer, that starve cancer. Now, I had heard about starving cancer before, and I thought they meant you just don't eat. Well, that's not what they mean. There's certain foods that will inhibit the cancer from growing. And there's certain foods that will starve it from what it wants. And after it starves and it dies, then it goes away. Understand? But you got to be vigilant, and I have not been. It's not so easy to do everything you're supposed to do. But I would suggest to you people out there who are in the same boat, or any of the boats of cancer, start paying attention to your diet. We're talking food. Okay, for a long time I've lived off powders and stuff because I didn't want to eat food, because I couldn't afford the food that would taste so good, And food has just not been part of my mindset for my whole life. When I was married, I did good. I'm talking about my first marriage, okay? I did good as far as cooking and putting food on the table and cleaning up and all that crap. But I got over that. Some emotional stress of a divorce, going through changes. My body went through changes because I could not eat. Eating was the last thing on my mind. And also, when I was emotionally upset, I just didn't think about food. I couldn't eat it. So, that lasted a while. And my body did go through a change, because before that I would have to eat about every 2 hours or I'd get sick. I'd have to eat something. And I'm talking literally nauseous and headaches and all that stuff. So I had to eat. But after this change that went on in my body, I'm serious. I could go 3 days without food and not feel hungry. I never drank enough water. People, we need to drink water, but we need to make sure it's clean of contaminants as much as possible. You do an experiment. You go to your city. Whoever supplies your water, you go to them and you ask them for a list of contaminants that's in the water. You'll be amazed. See, Perryton, Texas, I lived there for a while. And they sent out a letter with the list of all that stuff that's in there. And then there was one of the wells that supplied a certain part of the town that was contaminated and shut down. But they're all contaminated. I mean, just think what they're doing. Our sewage is being changed into drinking water. And they're doing it how? Part of it is in, I think, the dirt. Because this place over here that I've been walking that goes up by the trees, I've showed it to you a few times. That's a waste treatment plant. Okay? And when I went down to the river, I actually went to the river one time with Nancy and the kids. Anyway, we walked up and down this road. We didn't go down into the river, but right next to it. And going down that road in the direction of that plant, as I got down the road a piece, oh my God, it stunk. I mean, really bad. But they have this thing, what do they call it? Maybe they call it a lagoon. Anyway, they've got this area in the dirt, which is a big old hole in the dirt, and green stuff's growing through it and all that stuff. And I think that they put some stuff there and then wait for it to go down through the dirt. I don't know. I really don't know how they're doing that. But I always thought it was chemicals. But I know part of it is sitting. When I lived in Fruit Valley in Vancouver, there was a dike that went around us. So I had to go up a dike in the backyard, go up a dike, and then on the other side of that was a waste treatment plant. And the things that you don't know. As in, there was a big old flood. There was a big old flood years and years before I lived there. And this is a lot of holding tanks for sewage, whatever. So the flood covered all of them, and all of that went in with the water. And the houses, I don't know if that dike was there when all that happened, because boy, the houses had water up to maybe 5 feet or 6 feet. You know, the walls were only a certain height, but the whole community was flooded. And really, it should have all been rebuilt. Let's think about that. It's in the dirt. It's in your walls. Contaminants. So I'm building you a pretty picture. You guys just pay attention. Pay attention to where you live. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Maybe do a little history shopping. Because, you know, they don't tell you that stuff. I learned it later. So anyway, that's enough of that. Just saying, there's things going on that you don't know. You see, that's in a song. Some of you guys will know it. I keep mixing it up with Curtis Lowe, but it's not. I think that's the name of it, is There's Things Going On, or something like that. And I'm not sure who sings it, because what comes to mind is Jake Giles band. Jay Giles. Anyway, you guys will know if you know it, and if you don't, it don't matter. But I would say the first word must be Jake, and then Giles. If you go to look it up and you put part of it in there, I'm sure it's going to show up. And then somebody does Curtis Lowe, and that might be them too. I'm not sure, and it could be why I'm getting it confused. Okay, so I've been thinking about it, doing a coconut oil treatment on my head, on my scalp, and on my hair, and I'm going to put I don't know if I'm going to put a shower cap or not, but I'm going to do something, because you don't want the oil to get everywhere, and I'm going to leave it in all day. So then when I take my bath, I'll wash that out, if it'll come out. Anyway, I'm finding out the coconut oil is really cool. So I was just listening to a video, Barbara O'Neill. Earlier, she was talking about what oils are the best to use. But it comes right down to coconut oil is the best. So, talking about digesting it and the things that it would do for your body. Okay, so I'm not just putting it topically. Today I'm going to put it topically. I'm going to put some on my scalp and massage it in, and then I'm going to make sure, it says to make sure it gets through all of your hair, you know, which they show you using a comb or something to spread that out. So I'm not going to pour a bottle on my head, but I might pour some because Nancy gave, well, no, but she gave me a solid. That fractionated coconut oil stays liquid. So I don't know how that would work. That would work good. But she gave me a bottle that she had of the kind that turns solid. It melts at 75 degrees. Nevertheless, that's what I'm going to use on my head. And my head should be 97.6 is my temperature, my normal temperature, not 98.6. Wonder why. But I'm sure there's a range, you know, there's a range of a normal temperature. So I'm normal, but it's always a 97 point something, sometimes a 4. And I noticed that my dad is that way. His temperature is low too, 97 point something. So when he's got a temperature, you know, like when he's got 98.6, well, he's got a temperature. And when it's 101, he's really got a temperature. You understand? I would think, anyway. I would think it would be the same. Anyway, I'm not going to go there. My head's just, you know, tripping a little bit, and it's going to get a little dizzy if I keep messing around. That means thinking. Think. Make sure you think good things. I am hungry. Bother. Now, see, that's Pooh Bear. Bother. Haven't seen Pooh Bear in a long time. Just seen a couple of his the posts out there. But I need something. That biscuit, I don't know. I don't know how good it is. Anyway, peanut butter is always good too. What I did was I had coffee and I put a little bit of that creamer in it. And then I also put a packet of stevia in it. So although stevia is not sugar, it's still a sweetener, and for some reason it bothers me. But what it is when you start your day, you shouldn't really have sugar. You should have food and then have the sugar later. But when you just have coffee and then you put that in it, and the creamer I put in it has sugar because it tastes good. It makes your coffee taste good. So there you go. And I haven't eaten. You see, eating is the last thing on my mind, except for when I'm starving to death and I'm worried about getting sick. You people out there with migraines, you know, I don't know what all causes migraines, but I can tell you some of the things because I used to be plagued with them so bad. And a major one is your diet, how you eat, if you eat. And like I said, there was a time when I had to eat every 2 hours, and if I didn't, I got sick. I got the headaches, and I got the nausea and all that crap. So that's why I love BC powders, is because I found that I could get rid of my headache with those. Within even sometimes, I told another story, I've told it before. I was experiencing one of these horrible headaches, and excuse me, the pounding was going on in my temples, okay, and it hurt, and the light was bugging me, and I couldn't function. All I could think about was that freaking head. I think I was laying kind of on the couch, not full laying down, but you know, it's making me sick even thinking about it. Maybe I need to get a BC. I could show you how to take one. Anyway, I'm sicker than a dog. And my mother she came from her house to mine, I didn't live that far away, and brought me a BC powder. I took that BC, and in order to take a BC, you really need some carbonated water, carbonated drink like Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, Coke, whatever. Even those orange drinks, anything that's got carbonation in it, so you can get it out of your mouth immediately, okay? Anyway, the point was she gave me that, and I proceeded to throw it up. But I think within 15 minutes to 30 minutes, I want to give a leeway, okay? But seriously, it didn't take that long. And I could function. I didn't get totally rid of the headache, but I could function, okay? But I did get rid of the headache, just I'm talking about that fast. And also what I'm talking about is the fact I threw it up. So I threw it up. Not all of it went into my system, I don't think. But enough of it did that it made a big difference. So I did. BC became my good friend because you can tell when your headache's coming, okay? So when you start feeling it coming, you attack it immediately. You don't wait until you got a full-fledged freaking headache and you can't think. Can't even think to figure out where is the BC to take and what can I drink with it and all that stuff. You take it before that happens. Anyway, I have just found that if I take a BC powder, if I know I got a headache coming, I mean I can feel it coming, I go ahead and take the BC and then it doesn't, okay? Can't say that'll work for everybody, but I bet it works pretty good. And what it is, and they got even a stronger one now, but the one that I take is a blue and white box. It's got 800 and some odd milligrams of aspirin. And then it's got like 62 to 65 milligrams of caffeine. I can't remember which. Caffeine is supposed to help it get to the source of the pain or something. I don't really know how those things work. I just know it works, okay? So you can get them at Walmart, and you can get them at I don't know if you can get them at Walgreens, but I assume you can. But in the big pharmacies, wherever, you can look and see. It'll be where the aspirin is, and like at Walmart, it seems to be like on the bottom shelf. But I get a pack of 50. They're down here. I'm going to show them to you. Okay. You can get a pack of 50 for about $7, $6 and something. Where's it at? Okay. BC powders. Well, see, is that backwards? Might be backwards. That's what I see. But anyway, fast pain relief. Excuse me. And I don't have my glasses on. It says headaches and body aches, and I can attest to that. I've taken this for a lot of things. And this is a 50 pack, okay? And that's what you'll see on the end, because it'll be like that on the shelf. But it'll be under the aspirin. And there's different sizes, okay, because she's got a different size in here. How many is this? This is 24, pack of 24. And that's where you fold it, so. Anyway, good stuff, Maynard. I'm telling you. I think I'm going to go ahead and take one. Because I really should go eat something, but that takes making something, and I'm going to go walk. So that's not good, is it? I'm going to put that upside down. Sideways. I put it in there sideways, the shorter way. In other words, it's taking up less real estate. There was room. There was room to take it in the air. That probably didn't make sense to you. But see, it's long this way, and if I put the long, it's taking up more real estate. I turn it on its side, where the long part is up in the air. There's plenty of room up there. That's what I was trying to say. So I want you to see me take the BC. I'm going to bring this candle over here to hold my phone. See if I can get that set up. So far I'm not going to lean down to take it. So I have this cold coffee, so I'm going to use that. I did see a partial Pepsi in the fridge, but it's not mine, so I'm not going to take it. But see, that's what I would really do. So I should show you. This is a little packet. And it has powder in it. Okay, it's all ground up into powder. That's what makes it so, I mean, there's more than that. Okay, because I told you it's got over 800 milligrams. And then I didn't tell you the green box looks just like the blue, but it's green. It's for arthritis, and that's got 1,200 and some odd milligrams of aspirin. People who have major pain might need that. I don't know. All I know is this works for me. And if I had a pain that it wasn't working for, I would try the stronger one. But then you don't want to be taking it all the time. But in a situation where, you know, you got a headache and you need to get rid of it, I would suggest BC. Okay, I'll get off that subject. Now here in a little bit, I told you I'm going to do an oil treatment on my hair and my scalp. Because I do think I need help. And I don't want my hair to go away. And now this new doctor, she's wanting me to go on that pill. She said, we'll wait and see. We'll keep you on what you're doing right now until we see the PET scan. But then you might need to go on that pill. She said, we'll just see. I mean, that's what she wants me to do in the first place. But then I told her what my doctor said. You know, you have to take several things into play. And quality of life is important, okay? Maybe I could live for a long time, and maybe it's worth going through all that crap. And see, here I use the word crap. Well, you know what the main thing is that she said? The main side effect that people are experiencing is diarrhea. So I'm going, okay, I don't want to live with diarrhea. Besides, that's dangerous. Dehydration and all that stuff. But there's probably things you can take to combat that. But see, there's a whole lot of side effects. It's just that they don't hit everybody, but they have to list them. So thinning of hair, which I already have because of my age. And I think my scalp can just use some treatment. I think it needs to be massaged and scoured and all that stuff. I lived 10 years on that property, and it just wasn't a real good functional thing. So taking a shower was a big deal too. Everything was a big deal there. Running water is a major deal. You know, like when I'm talking about my little house, the things that are great about my little house, oh my God. If I didn't have anywhere to be, I need to be there. At least I have the amenities of life, which I have done without. I mean, the last 2 years I've been here, around where people have utilities. But 10 years before that, no. However long it's been since I bought that property and actually we moved there. Because we couldn't move there until probation was over. I had the property already. I had already traded my house for this property. And then I wasn't able to go to it because I had to stay around. Because all I had was a misdemeanor. And if I left town, there was nothing to extradite me back over a stupid plot. People, it really is a crime. It's a crime what people are going through in the name of the law. You know, the law is supposed to be fighting crime. But sometimes they are the crime. The things that they are doing in the name of the law, like ripping families apart. Well, see, my family wasn't ripped apart because I was old. My daughter was grown up and having kids of her own. Had kids of her own, you know, because I really don't know. 10 years ago, Carly is, I think she is going to turn 30 this year. So 10 years ago, she would have been 20. But we didn't see each other anyway. They lived a long ways away. So far away. Enjoy them kids while you got them, because they do leave you. And then they have their kids and they've gone, and you don't got them either. I mean, I do know that some grandparents do pick up and move. Maybe they're welcomed, but maybe you're not welcome. That's the deal too. There's things going on at that particular time. They don't want you around. I can understand. However, it's really sad. So we'll get over that. I'm going to take this BC powder. I put you down so I can do it. See, I got two hands. But it is caca. I'm so tempted to get that Pepsi. And you know what else? I've got a carbonated drink out there in my fridge is what I was going to say. But I've got this coffee, so I'm just going to use that. Now, when you read the instructions on the box, it's going to tell you, and I had never read the instructions, I just did it like my mama did it, okay? It tells you on that box to drink a full glass of water after. So read the instructions, do what you want. Main thing is get it in your mouth and get it out of your mouth, because it's not tasty. And you know what? They do have some that is, and I haven't tried those, because the sweetness is what gets me sick in the first place. But I am pretty sure they've got a cherry flavored. I'll have to try that instead of the nasty. The nasty is what stops people. And it's just a powder, okay? It's white powder. And if you were to put it out on there, you could draw it out like a line. And you never know if people haven't used it for that. They use things to cut it with, so it's not so strong. I'd be careful what you cut with. Anyway, here we go. It's not so bad when you know how the headache's going to be. This is something that happens real quick and passes, and so it doesn't bother you that bad. Not when you realize if you didn't do it. Maybe you can go ahead and take Excedrin is supposed to be aspirin. If you know the headache's coming ahead of time, I mean, you can feel it coming, then go ahead and take that. Maybe that'll work okay. Get it in your system. But the whole thing is, this is already ground up. It's not got to be digested. It just is taken. And I think that's why it works so fast. I know it's why it works so fast. All right. Where are we at? Oh my God. We're already at an hour and I haven't done any walking, people. I've got my sweater on. So I'm going to go out there and give it a try. See how far I can go. All I know is I need a miracle. I need a few miracles, okay? Like, I need a ton of money. What else do I need? I need my fella. That's what I need. And then I need to get over this cancer crap. I need to be 20 years younger. I'm going to just act like I don't need shades out here. I know that, oh, I was going to show you. Yes, I wear the same clothes over sometimes, you know. That's another thing that comes from my living out on the farm. Because we didn't have running water and we didn't have laundry facilities. And we were 25 miles away from a laundromat. And just everything. You just don't have the same habits when you walk into a house that's got running water. You can turn on a faucet and you got water. You can take a bath. Wow. I mean, with the turn of a tap, okay? I was going to show you what I look like. And I haven't done the oil treatment yet, but I'm going to do it when I get back. Soak my head in oil and massage it. This coconut oil that I'm going to use. Now that fractionated coconut oil, very cool. It changes, I don't know how to say the right words, but it makes it micro. Like when it's, like in my treatment that I made, part of it is that, okay, let's just let you see and then I'll go. Can you see me? You know, the other day I was showing you this shirt. This is my girlfriend's shirt. Meaning it's my shirt, but she has a pyramid, okay? And then I don't understand all this stuff. Has to do with Metatron. Metatron's pyramid, which she and her husband and her community built. And then somebody came along and burned it down. People, don't be rude. Don't be mean. Okay, so I'm outside now. We're gonna go for a little walk. I tend to make long videos anyway, okay? You don't have to listen to them all, but you know, if you got time and nothing better to do, what does it hurt to listen to Mary Lou? Yes, the small things in life. That is just weird. Looking at the branches in this tree, okay, they're crisscrossing each other. And it wouldn't matter if I showed you, you wouldn't understand what I'm trying to say. I guess that's just the way it goes. When it gets up there and all those branches get really big and then they're going to be weirded out. They'll say, I wish somebody would have put that in the right place. But then, you know, I might break it if I tried. But really, if it's alive, it should be supple. And yes, gee willikers, it is chilly because the wind is blowing. And my sweater, like all sweaters, it's got little holes in it, you know, because it's a knit. Do 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 do. People are walking. I'm not sure what time it is, but surely it's not that late. That guy had a book in his hands. All right, I'm going around the curve. I'm going to go around the block. Just walk at least a block. But I need to do better than that. And really what I need to do is create my own freestyle dance class. And there's another thing. Oh my, I've got to do. Okay, I looked it up. That mat that I have, if you go and you get therapy somewhere, it's with that mat, and they charge $30 to $60 a session for a half-hour session. So I thought about that. I could advertise my mat and give sessions and charge less, you know, like $25 a session. And if you bought a book of 5, if you did a thing of 5, do it for $100. That's $20 a session. I just need to be able to set it up. But I have it here. And I need money. So I've got to figure out the way to advertise it and the way to do it. I looked it up. See, I spent $6,500 when I bought it. I looked it up. I think it's like 78 now. Not sure. But anyway, it's a thought. Because I do need money, and there it sits. I could be using it. I need to use it myself, and then I could be letting people use it. You know, when I got it, they were talking about the fact that there was one apartment building that bought it, and everybody in the apartment building used it. So I don't know if they all went together and bought it or what. But it's just a thought. It's electromagnetic, I'm going to say therapy, okay? You lay on the mat, and then you turn on the thingamabob, the controller, and it's supposed to open up your bloodway, your vessels, so that the blood rushes instead of getting clogged up. I saw videos on it, you know, and I guess there's all kinds of things they can make happen that aren't real. But what they showed the blood kind of getting, it was flowing, but it was getting stuck. It was kind of like going slow, and they would get stuck together, the molecules. And they showed, that was the before, and then they showed after. Those blood veins were opened up, the blood was rushing, nothing was getting clogged anywhere. Okay, so talk about feeding yourself some nutrition. You need good things in your body, you know, your medicines and stuff. I'm thinking putting on my, put on my ointment and get it in there working, and then get on the mat. That might be a great thing to do. Serious. You have to try that. So you think there's some nuts in there, huh? All these brown things, are they nuts? They were green. And they're thorny. All right, so like up here, you can see there's green and then there's the brown. I wonder what they feel like. Well, they're soft enough that they're not. I didn't do a brown one though, did I? Let's see. Where's a brown one? Still not bad. They bend instead of poking you. I thought it might poke me. This is like a bunch of needles sticking out. Do 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 do.